What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday evening so far. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of an injury update surrounding the New York Mets. As right now, the New York Mets, well, unfortunately, they have another pitcher down. Unfortunately, they have officially placed right-handed pitcher Carlos Carrasco on the 15-day DL with right elbow inflammation. And when you hear that, that's not a good sign. When you hear immediately right elbow inflammation. That's exactly what the Mets are dealing with right now with Carlos Carrasco Correa. Carlos Carrasco is dealing with right elbow inflammation. He's been placed on the 15-day IL. And the Mets have recalled right-handed pitcher Jeff Brigham. If you don't remember, he's the one that also went in the trade with Alicia Hernandez to the New York Mets in that trade in the offseason with the Miami Marlins. And in addition, the New York Mets have also optioned right-handed pitcher Dennis Santana down to the minor leagues in Triple-A Syracuse. Carrasco's been off to a terrible start so far, too. Carrasco has pitched in 2 games, and 3 games overall, and he's pitched to an 8.56 ERA in 3 games, with 13.2 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts overall, and he has a whip of over 1.612. That's pretty bad. That's really, really bad. He's given up 13 earned runs, 3 home runs, 8 walks, and he's, like I mentioned, only struck out 8. He's had 3 hit by pitches. Maybe Carlos Carrasco was injured this entire time. Maybe that's why Carrasco was this poor. Because there's no other explanation on why Carlos Carrasco has been this bad. I mean, and the New York Mets' woes in the starting rotation continues. Already without Jose Quintana until at least July or August. Justin Verlander's banged up. He's been out for the beginning of the season. Max Scherzer dealing with soreness. He had to miss his last start, but he's going to be pitching tomorrow. Fingers crossed. And now you have the issues with Carlos Carrasco. The only pitcher that has been healthy and hasn't had to miss anything already in the beginning of the season has been Kodai Senga. This is what happens when you are relying on an older pitching staff. I'm sorry. When you're relying on pitchers in their mid to late 30s and early 40s, you're going to have these issues with injuries. And the problem is, like I mentioned, the New York Mets don't have a lot of guys in the minor leagues whom are ready to come up and really make a statement or make any type of impact with this New York Mets team in the minor leagues. That's the problem. I mean, what are you going to do now? That's another starting pitcher that's down. And who even knows? When you hear right elbow inflammation, that does not sound like just a 15-day IL stint. That sounds like that he might be gone for longer than 15 days. Usually when you hear elbow inflammation, that could lead up to a month, 2 months, however long it takes for him to finally get healthy after that inflammation. Either way, this is not good. Now, I know Jeff Brigham, he's been pretty much a bullpen guy. He's been able to do some spot starts here and there. He had a bad ERA last year. Dude was pitching to like a 8.9 ERA. He's about 31 years old, left-handed pitcher, or right-handed pitcher, but he's not that great. Jose Budo is going to have to stay in the rotation now. Hopefully Kodai Senga, who had not a great start in his last game against the Oakland Athletics, he could bounce back in his next start against the Dodgers. But this is not a good sign. Mets are going to need David Peterson and Tyler McGill to pitch better than they have. Peterson was horrible last night. Luckily, if it wasn't for the Mets bats that woke up last night, the Mets would have lost because Peterson gave up 6 runs in 6 innings. So this starting pitching staff that I was worried about at the beginning of the season is starting to now show some warts. Like I mentioned, Quintana's not coming back until at least mid to late summer. You're already without Verlander, who is working his way back, but hopefully he doesn't have a setback. You already have Scherzer, who's been banged up, and he's not been great in his first few starts. He had his last start he had against the Marlins, he was good. But he's had 2 out of 3 bad starts, and now he's a little bit dealing with soreness. You have Carlos Carrasco, has been awful his first 2 starts of this first 3 starts of the season, and now he's on the injured list with elbow inflammation in his right arm. And like I mentioned, Peterson has not been great, and McGill has been up and down. That's why it's so important for this Mets lineup to really start getting it going, because this pitching staff is already having issues, and we barely even gotten through a month of this Major League Baseball season. So I just wanted to give you guys that injury update right now with the New York Mets. They have officially placed right-handed pitcher, starting pitcher, Carlos Carrasco on the 15-day IL with elbow inflammation in his right elbow. And they have recalled right-handed pitcher Jeff Brigham from Triple-A Syracuse. And that's going to be retroactive on April 16th. And in addition, they have optioned right-handed pitcher Dennis Santana down to Triple-A Syracuse, who has not been great since he has opportunities up here. So hit that like button if you haven't already, and give a sub to NYG JeffyT85. More news updates and chatter surrounding the New York Mets. Turn on the bell for notifications. The next video or short dropping on the channel surrounding the New York Mets. You guys let me know in the comments section what you think about the injury news surrounding Carlos Carrasco now that he's on the injured list with an elbow inflammation in his right elbow. And what do you think the Mets can expect from Jeff Brigham? And if you're worried about the pitching staff like I am right now, you might think that, you might disagree with me and say, oh, there's nothing to worry about. The pitching staff, nothing to worry about. Everybody's going to come back. It's okay. You've already had 4 of your 5 pitchers be banged up or miss some time. This is only April. We still have plenty of time to go. If they're breaking down in April, it's not a good sign going into the rest of the season. But you guys let me know in the comments section. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Take it easy, and let's go New York Mets. As always, all you got to do is you got to believe in those boys from Queens.